Hi and welcome to my channel, Shell's Spooky SFX. I'm a bit late this year with this video. I've been so busy with working, but I thought I decided to do a Ebenezer Scrooge because at the time I did this, it was at Christmas time. So anyway, here we go. I started off by using Model Magic to create Ebenezer's nose because he's got quite a big pointed double incised nose that's on his face. So yeah, so I started off by modelling and recreating the shape of his nose. As Ebenezer Scrooge has quite a prominent large nose, it took quite a while to get the right shape that I was happy with. So I fiddled around a little bit just to get it just right, so I was quite happy with the shape. Obviously, you don't have to copy the same as mine, but if you do create this Ebenezer Scrooge look, use the shape that you feel happy with. Also, don't forget the nose side bits. Is it the alae? I'm not quite sure what they're called, but round by the nostrils. Make sure that you define and put definition in those parts so that the nostrils stick out and give it shape. And also round by the middle part where the top lip is joined with the nose. And there you go. That is my Ebenezer Scrooge's nose. I created the nostril holes using a pencil brush or a makeup brush rather. So don't forget to create and define all the areas around that part to make it look more realistic and more like a nose. And also just adding a little bit more shape round by the nostrils and you know, just giving the holes a little bit more definition, so when you paint it later you can create dark holes there. Now I added some Vaseline to the outside areas of the edges of the skin, which will be joining to your own skin on your face, just to cut out thick ridges and make it look more easier and more laid flat against your own skin. Now I'm adding the chin. Now this was a fun part. Make the chin as big and as long as you like. Again, I did the Model Magic. I just didn't make it too big actually because I got quite long enough chin, long faces of my own. So, but yeah, so I added the Model Magic around and just pressing it down finally and blending it in again so that the edges are thin and don't look too thick on your face. Using a scalpel, I used it to blend out the edges again and shaped it out. I used a pencil brush, a makeup pencil brush. Actually, no, I used a paintbrush there to put the little ridges in the chin. So just to give it a little ridge there. Anyway, here we go with the latex. This is the fun part. So I did plenty of latex in the bowl, and then with a sponge, I thinly spreaded the latex around the nose, just one layer at a time. Let that dry, and then once that dried, I used about 5-6 layers, I think, to give it the thickness it needed. But don't forget to put a thin outside edge so they lay flat against your skin when you apply it. Now using alcohol activated paints, I used the best skin colour I could get, which was light browns, a bit of dark brown and light browns, and applied to both the nose and the chin. Play around with the colours and try to get it as flesh colour as you can to your own skin so that it's easier when you apply it. With a thick brush, I use my finger to spray on little speckles to give it a little bit more colour. And oh, here we go, we're applying it now to my skin. So using skin latex, you can use any skin glue, I just use latex this time. Spread it over where your nose is going to be applied, and use the skin glue that is good for your skin, that doesn't affect you in any way. Also adding a little bit to the edges of the actual nose so that it gives it a little bit more stickiness to make it stay. Now I had a little bit of trouble putting this on because I probably put it on a bit too early and it was sticking everywhere, so I had to keep taking it apart, reapplying it. Anyway, we eventually got there. Just take your time with it and play around with it. But again, you can see that my edges were a little bit too thick. I didn't really put them out thinly enough. So you can always add cotton wool around the edges to blend it out better so that you don't see the lines of the edges so much. And really did have trouble putting this on, but we got there eventually. And also with the chin, add it on, and I use the hairdryer there to help it dry quickly. Now I'm using NYX brown, I think it was, eyeliner pencil to colour out the lines, the wrinkles of Ebenezer's face. Didn't have too much trouble there because at my age I've got quite a few lines as it is. So what I found myself doing was squinting and creasing my own face to find where the lines are, and put as many lines as you want. Also all round the face and the chin and the face cheek area, round by the lips and across the eyebrows and across the chin. Also with his lips, because he's getting old, he's got wrinkly lips. With my finger, I just dabbed over the lines slightly, just to, you know, so they're not so harsh, not so sharp, just to sort of fade them out slightly. Now, Ebenezer Scrooge is miserable and he's moody and glum all the time. So to make him have that extra glum look, with the lip down, pattern down, I put extra lines around the lips so it makes him look like he's just gloomy and moody all the time. Using cotton wool, I put them across my eyebrows because he's got quite hairy, thick, hairy eyebrows. And then applied water-based grey and white paints to give it that grey, salt and peppered look across his eyebrows. So in the movie, it's winter time, it's Christmas time actually, and it's always cold, and Ebenezer doesn't like to use his money because he's a Scrooge, so he's always cold. So with some face paint, I think I used some grease paint here, it was a red paint. I coloured his cheeks and dabbed them with my finger to give him that rosy red cold cheek look, and of course at the end of his nose, because obviously you always get a red nose tip when it's cold and freezing. Just slightly dab it with the finger as well, just so it's not so heavy. I found some crepe hair in my cupboard, and with some grey water-based paints, I applied using some skin glue to the sides of my cheeks to give them some sideburns. Obviously it looks quite grey and dark there, but the more grey and white paints that you use, you can lighten it and give it that salt and pepper look. I found an old wig as well, and oh gosh, it's in a terrible state, but I cut some bits off and just popped them under my hat to give it like he's got grey whitish hair. And there you go. This is my final Ebenezer Scrooge look. I found my candelabra, put some candles in. Oh, and my husband's glasses as well. Added them onto the tip of the nose. Well, I hope you like this look. And if you create this, please tag me. I'm on TikTok and on Instagram, ShellSpookySFX.